There once was a velveteen rabbit. He was fat and bunchy as a rabbit should be. His coat was spotted brown and white. He had real red whiskers and his ears were lined with pink satin. On Christmas morning, when he sat wedged in the top of the boy's stocking, the effect was charming. There were other things in the stocking, but the rabbit was quite the best of all. For at least 2 hours, the boy loved him. And then the aunts and uncles came to dinner. And in all the excitement, the rabbit was forgotten. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return. This lyric from Nature Boy illustrates what most of us yearn for in life. But how do you achieve this if you aren't real to begin with? The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams. For a long time, he lived in the toy cupboard or on the nursery floor, and no one thought very much about him. He was naturally shy, and being only made of velveteen, some of the more expensive toys quite snubbed him. The poor little rabbit was made to feel himself very insignificant, and the only person who was kind to him at all was a skin horse. The skin horse was wise, for he'd seen a long succession of mechanical toys arrive to boast, and by break their mainsprings and pass away. And he knew that they were only toys, and would never turn into anything else. For nursery magic it's strange and wonderful, and only those playthings that are experienced like the skin horse understand all about it.
What is real? Oh, does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle?
Real isn't how you are made. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real.
Well, does it happen all at once or just bit by bit?
It doesn't happen all at once. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been lived off and you grow very shabby. But these things don't matter at all because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to the people who don't understand.
Well, I suppose you're real?
The boy's uncle made me real. That was a great many years ago, but once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always. The rabbit longed to become real, to know what it felt like, and yet the idea of growing shabby was rather sad. One evening when the boy was going to bed, he couldn't find the china dog that always slept with him. Nana was in a hurry, so she simply looked about her, and seeing that the toy cupboard door stood open, she made a swoop. Here, take your old bunny. He'll do to sleep with you. That night, and for many nights after, the Velveteen Rabbit slept in the boy's bed. You must have your old bunny. Fancy all that fuss for a toy. Give me my bunny. You mustn't say that. He isn't a toy. He's real. When the rabbit heard this, he was happy, for he knew what the skin horses said was true at last. The nursery magic had happened to him. He was real. The boy himself had said it. That night, and for many nights after, the Velveteen Rabbit slept in the boy's bed. One evening, the rabbit was lying alone. He saw two strange beings creep out of a tall bracken. They were evidently a new kind of rabbit altogether. Why don't you get up and play with us?
I just don't want to.
It's easy as anything.
I just rather sit still.
I don't believe you can.
I can. I can jump higher than anything.
Show me.
I'd rather not.
But all the while, the rabbit was longing to dance, for a funny new tickly feeling ran about him, and he felt he would give anything in the world to dance about like those rabbits did. He doesn't smell right. He isn't a rabbit at all. He isn't real. I am real. I am real. The boy said so. Just then, there was a sound of footsteps. The two rabbits disappeared. Come back. Oh, do come back. I know I'm real. But the two rabbits never returned. The sun sank lower, and the boy came to carry his bunny home. And then one day, the boy grew ill. His face was flushed red, and his body was so hot that it burned the little rabbit when he held him close. It was a long, weary time, for the boy was too ill to play, and the rabbit found it rather dull with nothing to do all day long. But he snuggled down close and looked forward to the day when the boy felt better. And presently the fever turned. The boy was no longer ill. They even let him get up and play one day. Tomorrow he was to go to the seaside. Everything was arranged. All that remained was to carry out the doctor's orders. The room was to be disinfected, and all the toys and books that the boy had played with were to be burned. How about this old bunny? That? Why, it's a mass of scarlet fever germs. Burn it at once. What nonsense. Get rid of it. He mustn't have that anymore. That night, when the boy slept in his bed, the rabbit lay alone amongst the old toys and picture books in the corner behind the fowl house. He felt very lonely. Thought of the skin horse, so wise and gentle in all that he had told him. What use was it to become real and lose one's beauty if it all ended like this? A tear, a real tear, trickled down his shabby velveteen nose and fell to the ground. And then something strange happened. For where the tear had fallen, a flower grew up out of the ground, and out of it stepped a fairy. Little rabbit, don't you know who I am? I am the nursery magic fairy. I take care of all playthings when children no longer need them. I take them away and turn them into real. Wasn't I real before? You were real to the boy, because he loved you. Now you shall be real to everyone. Run and play, little rabbit. Run and play. But the rabbit never moved. He saw all the other rabbits dancing about, and he suddenly remembered he hadn't any hind legs. He would have sat there for a very long time if just then something hadn't tickled his nose. And before he realized what he was doing, he lifted his hind leg to scratch it. He went hopping about the turf, and the joy of using his legs was wonderful. When the days grew warm and sunny, the boy came outside to play. He saw two strange beings that looked familiar, but the boy never knew that it was his own bunny come back to look at the boy who had first helped him to become real.